everybody, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr, and tonight I'm going to share a Rogue beer with you. I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with Rogue. They are a brewery out of Newport, Oregon, and they've been around quite a while. In terms of craft breweries in America, I would say, you know, they're on the end of some of the more old school breweries out there, but I'm sure most of you are very familiar with a lot of their beers. They brew quite a few, and they all come in 22-ounce bombers. And you'll notice also that most of them have a certain character or whatever on the front. This one that I'm sharing with you tonight is their Hazelnut Brown Nectar, which is flavored with hazelnut. And this is one of the ones that I haven't had this one yet, I should say. There's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 that I haven't had. But I generally like pretty much most of their beers. So, you know, part of the reason why I was always kind of drawn to this one, I don't know if you guys ever saw Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. Well, he actually reminds me of the guy on the bottle. I just think it's a little bit funny. But I love hazelnuts. I'm actually surprised that I haven't reviewed this one yet. But I haven't reviewed many brown ales, and I wanted to kind of incorporate that into the mix as well. So doing a little bit of research, I was surprised to find that this is one of the better brown ales out there. And the fact that it's got hazelnuts in it made me decide, you know what, let's go ahead and get that one on the show. So I'm going to go ahead and bust a cap on it, and we'll throw that right in there. But you know, another thing that I wanted to kind of point out about Rogue, and I really kind of appreciate this about breweries, is that they're similar to Dogfish Head in the sense that their motto is that they like to work kind of across the grain, or against the grain, if you will. Generally, people will say, you know, as a brewery, this is what you should be doing, and they always say, well, we're going to do the exact opposite then. And to flavor beer with hazelnuts is not something that I've seen too many times, if any, so I'm really excited to try this one tonight. This one clocks in right at about 6.2%, so not a really strong beer. Brown ales actually are kind of, I would say they're kind of the smaller brother of the porter. They're starting to approach that color of, you know, like rich dark brown, not quite black, but they typically don't have a higher ABV as well. So they're known as being, you know, really malty, and so I think the hazelnuts are actually going to go really well with this. So let's go ahead and give it a try and see what we got. Okay, so it's pouring about the color that I thought it would, which is brown. And I'll go ahead and set that bottle up there. All right, so not exactly brown, to be honest with you. There's a lot of like dark ruby red mixed in with the brown color. It's really hazy. I can't, you know, really see through it very well. It's not dark by any stretch of the imagination, and the head on it seems to dissipate fairly quickly. But I would say it's about a, you know, it's a little bit fluffy. It's not like a really tight head, and it's not real soapy. Actually, it's in between the two, so not a horribly bad looking beer. I think if it was a little bit more ruby or a little bit more brown, maybe it would seem more in this style, but hey, you know what, who am I? Well, let's go ahead and smell it and see what we got going on. Wow, yeah, that really smells like hazelnuts, all right. That's one of the first things you smell is hazelnuts. There's a nice maltiness behind that, but I'm really digging the hazelnut smell. A lot of people probably don't know hazelnuts are one of my favorite types of nuts out there, along with almonds and cashews. But when hazelnuts are roasted, I just don't think there's a better smell out there in terms of the types of nuts that you can buy. You know, in addition to the hazelnut smell, I get almost sort of like a pumpkin pie spice in there as well. The aromas that come out really kind of remind me of the pumpkin. Now, obviously, it doesn't smell like pumpkin pie, but it has that sort of, you know, like roasted quality, like you come home from work or wherever and you've got something in the oven like a pie crust. So I would say maybe even a pie crust, but wow, it smells really good. I'm going to see what it tastes like though. So the first thing that I get on the tongue is the hazelnut, obviously. There's not a ton of bitterness, which is nice. This is kind of a middle of the road beer in terms of mouthfeel, body. It's, obviously heavier than, say I don't know, like an IPA, but it's not as heavy as, say, a porter, which a porter is kind of on the lower end of the spectrum of the stout family in terms of mouthfeel and heaviness. As I'm sitting here talking though and taking about 15 to 20 seconds in between sips, I'm telling you that the thing that I really get in my mouth after that is that hazelnut aroma. It's pretty nice. The finish is not super strong, meaning that once you take a sip, you get a lot of flavor up front. Like as soon as you take a drink, your tongue is met with just loads of roasted hazelnut, a little bit of caramel malt. But after it goes down, really the only thing that sits in your mouth is the perfume of the hazelnuts. I pretty much am digging that though. This is a great beer for fall. Fall is actually one of my favorite seasons. I love it when you get home from work, it's 5, 6 o'clock at night, you can go sit out on the deck and it's, 50, 60 degrees. This is the kind of beer I would have for that moment. If you're a fan of hazelnuts, go find one of these right now. And Rogue is pretty readily available. If you do a search on Rate Beer, you'll see that this is pretty much available in most states in this country. Yeah, very interesting color. I'd expected it to be quite a bit more brown. It is a brown ale, but all in all, very enjoyable. I like this one. It's just there's nothing offensive, it's not too over the top, it just meets all of your expectations. Again, and I don't know why this is the case, but I'm really reminded of the Pumpkin by Southern Tier. There's really kind of I think it's maybe just the fact that it really tastes like fall to me, and the Pumpkin tastes like fall. So, I mean, it's a good thing. I know we're in the heart of winter right now, and it's very cold. I mean, I think it's, 10 below outside here in Kansas City. But, this is a really good beer. Really excited about it. So, well, anyway, I'm going to finish this one off, and I may take a little bit to my wife and see what she thinks. I think she'll actually like this one. If you guys are dating, or, you're dating a guy or a girl or whoever you are, your significant other, I think they'll probably enjoy this beer. Hell, I think your mother-in-law would enjoy this beer, or father-in-law, whoever. But, well, I'm going to go ahead and sit here and finish it and kind of reflect on the week. But anyway, my name is Mark Starr, reminding you to fridge the hops. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.